Good day. Today I want to talk about a topic very close to my heart. Being lecturing and facilitating and coaching more than 30 years, I've learned a couple of things. And I want to share with you this concept of micro teaching or micro learning. Why this topic? Because we're living in a world, there's so many programs. A lot of programs are rigid. And I'm saying, I wonder if all the classroom training really making a difference. And I know it sometimes is very boring. It's a lot of one-sided perspective. Maybe we are out of touch of the real world. So what are we going to do when we talk about micro learning and teaching? I want to share with you a couple of what I call research opportunities. Now, micro teaching, in another way of describing it, it's like drip, bits of pieces, small bits of pieces, versus just sitting down in a program for 2-3 days and then you download all the information at once. So it's really like, instead of dumping too much information in one, what you're busy doing is, let's start saying, bits of pieces over a period of time, which I personally believe is the way to go. So what do we need to change? We need to change our core beliefs about learning. And because learning it's not an event, it's a process. In learning, always I'm saying you got to look at impact. Does it make, or do it have an impact, yes or no? And are we talking about, is it life learning or is it just a once-off learning? So depending on how you look at it, you're going to have some new ideas and new insights, which I believe we got to relook at the way we're training people and coaching people and facilitating people. Because are they learning from the outside in, or they're learning from the inside out? And because there's a lot of information, but why is it so that people are sometimes still the same? And I know why, because it's a lot of information, but are they really different from the inside out? And that's what we call inside out learning. If you look at retention also, they're saying is that on average, and listen to the statement, about 80% of things that you've learned today will be lost within 30 days. Let me repeat this. 80% of things that you've learned today will be lost in 30 days. So are we seriously about reinforcing learning? And I'm saying no. It's too much information. There's no action plan. There's no follow-up. And it's just a lot of information, but we are missing something. And that's why I believe it's so important that we need to make sure that we understand micro teaching. Because if you think about the typical graph of forgetting, 1 day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, 7 days. Think about last 7 days. It's amazing. And we need to start learning these type of things. Also, what are you doing with this newly knowledge? And I'm saying one of the best ways, start training, teaching other people. Make it your own, because it can have such an impact on your learning and application. A great issue and a great concern. So if you ask me what is this micro teaching all about, I say, well, listen, take, say, 5 days a week, 20 to 30 minutes. Take one concept and think about what is the one thing that you want to learn today. And open up your devotion, or let's call it your journal, and just put some thoughts in it and repeat and refresh your thoughts from time to time. That's about 20 minutes. Instead of going on a course of 5 days or 3 days, let's have short sessions of 20-30 minutes, and I think that can have such a great impact. Because what I'm saying is, we don't need new spectacles. We need to see things differently in small chunks at the end of the day. As I explained to you, we've got lots of illustrations of brilliant content. The other thing that I believe is, why is it so that you often see on YouTube all these 2-3 minute videos and it's really getting viral? Why? It's short videos, but so powerful, it's such an impact on a person. So I'm saying, but why don't we use something similar? And I believe videos and small videos got such a big role to play, having such a big impact. We just need to do it. But something else, daily reinforcement. What do we do about this? So if you send a person on a training and development program, ask him, listen, what can we do differently? How are we going to apply it? What else can we do? What do you see? Because otherwise there's, again, discovery learning taking place. But what are we doing with this knowledge? And what are we doing with all this brilliant new insights? Key thought that I believe. And then also on a flash drive, I've noticed that a lot of professors and doctors and course consultants and facilitators, they love talking and talking and talking, but I would say put the learning on a flash drive. Let them repeat through it from time to time. Let me work through it. Because why we got all this information and we just keep it for ourselves? There's a huge amount of this best training. Nothing happened because there's no application. There's no implementation. And listen to this statement. This is one of my famous strong message statements. You are a knowledge capital thief. Talking to you, if you don't share your wisdom in coaching. So you can't, I don't want you to be a thief. I want you to share your learning, your stories, and how to apply these type of things. Other thing that I strongly believe in, assessments. There's got to be assessments. Assessments not only for certain people. And again, if you think about assimilation, we've got continuous professional development. What about continuous professional development for each and every employee? Doesn't matter where you are. Why is it only for certain people like psychologists and medical doctors and those type of people who are in a financial positions? No, make it applicable to each and every person. And then my famous technique that I want to bring in terms of this type of training is learn, apply, and teach. But learning is about knowledge. It's just about knowledge. It's about yourself. But when you apply it, you start bringing in and you start sharing your information. That's learn, apply. But the real thing that I want to see is multiplication. Multiplication, in other words, is I want to train people. I want to take this information. I want to change the world. That's multiplication. I don't want to keep it for myself. So that to me is such a great idea. Now, I'm not sure where you are in your career-wise. It could be on maintenance and decline and stagnation and growth. But I want you to keep on learning and learning and learning and learning. And then I also believe in 360-degree feedback. And now what I like about it, when you hear the sound of this aeroplane, you know, these guys got a simulation every 6 months. They need to renew their licenses. So what about you? And one of the best ways to do it is a 360-degree feedback, because keep it confidential, but you ask people, what do you think about your own leadership development and your progress and all these type of things? But training has got to have impact. In other words, at the end of the session, you ask normally 2 or 3 questions. Did it add value, yes or no? What else do you want me to do differently? And then lastly, do you have a message for me? Because classroom training is wonderful, but if there's no evaluation, there's no follow-up, there's no implementation, I think we're wasting time, seriously. So please, I believe this is very important principles. Then something else, coaching upwards. We love to train people downwards, but what about coaching upwards? Your immediate senior, your immediate boss, you know, he's not attending any courses anymore, but what about him? I think it's crucial, because 50% of all development is self-development, 25% is the role of your senior, that's already 75%. So don't wait and wait and wait. Start teaching, coaching people, but not always downwards, also upwards. That to me is very important. So I've said this, and I want to repeat this: do assessments, do surveys, look at where you are. But then the 4 key components are always discover when you're doing some training, dream, design, but you need to deliver it. Training is about deliver. And yes, you've got to have your own personal scorecard and keep on doing. Once you've completed training, ask them 3 questions. Number 1, what did you hear? It's your take-home point. Second thing is, what are you going to do about these type of things? And how are you going to implement this? Because otherwise it's just, again, lots of noises, and we're wasting money to make noises. And I believe we've got a lot of learning, you've got a lot of potential, but let's revisit the way we're learning people. Let's see what we can do differently. Let's take responsibility for the implementation. Don't just attend a course for the sake of attending the course. There must be something else. And something else that you can do is study in your small groups, because I believe you can learn. I've been in Robben Island, and there's something that I've learned there was that one person, you know, you start teaching somebody else. So if you pick up something new, you share it with somebody else. I think it's so important as part of continuous professional development, because you cannot stand still. Because if you think you're standing still, you're actually going backwards. So To repeat, micro teaching, is it a new way? I'm saying it's actually not a new way, but it's one quality, one thought per week, one page, 20-minute sessions, and apply. And then you must always keep in mind, we have got different groups of people in the workplaces. You can learn so much from the typical general, younger people, but please, not only younger people, you've got something that you can apply and you can make a difference, and that's why I'm saying it's vital. So input, very important. Reflection, you've got to reflect, but you've got to have a commitment. Now, commitment, two ways: intellectual as well as emotional. Apply. Without application, you're going to stand still. And that's why I'm saying, please, I've covered this very quickly. Have a look at the whole slide presentation. See what you can learn, apply, and teach. See what you can do about these type of things, because I want you to think about, now that you've done this training, what are things that you're going to let go? What are things that you're going to start doing and stop doing and maintain, as well as initiate? Vital things. Those are always my key questions, because if we have not done this, I'm saying we're going to waste time. So the future of training development is in your hands. What are you going to do about it? And I want to close with my famous words always. You are unique and different. You are a loved and a valuable person. Live out your life of significance. You can play such a different role. Don't just stand in. Don't just fit in. I want you rather to stand out, be significant, and apply these learning principles. Go make a difference. Work through the slides. I want to challenge you, please. This is a new way, a fresh way of really making serious that the stuff that you're discussing with people that are seriously implementing. Go and make a difference.